It's Chris here from Blue Tongue Bayou Exotics, and I thought it'd be something fun to do a special video for you guys. Now it's October 5th, 2016, so I thought, let's do a reptile room! Especially since I got a new recruit just a few days ago. From a funny story, I'll actually tell you all the story about it once we get to him. But first, you should look at my setup. So we got my desk over here, which is where I record my gaming videos. We got the room. This is an old box spring for an old bed. We got my posters, and then we got my sick ass. I'm just kidding. We got my cool reptile cage system. It's a rack system. Not really even a rack system. I bought the rack from Lowe's for about $98. It's supposed to hold up to 5,000 pounds. It actually comes with 4 shelves, but I could never have enough room for the 4th one, so I just put the 4th one in my storage room. We've got 5 cages here, as you can see. They hold a total of 7 reptiles. Not a ton of different things. I'll go over each one. I guess I should go over the one who's eating right now. It actually is feeding day for some of my reptiles, which some of them eat every day, some eat every other day. So we have Azule here, who you've probably seen in our last video, which was cooking with reptiles. I guess I can't remember the title offhand, but it was how to make a diet for your blue-tongued skink. I'll actually make an annotation here in the video if you want to go check it out. It's a nice little video. Today Azule's eating some Blue Mountain Wilderness dog food, and it was topped with snails, but he kind of ate those kind of quick. We got my pug Chance here. He's just chilling out. He just came in from outside, so he's kind of overheated. But yeah, you can see we got a log here for him to play with, for him to hide in. He doesn't really hide in, he uses it more as a tunnel. Oh, that's one for the blooper reel, huh, folks? I am so sorry about that. My tripod's not as steady as I thought it would be on that table. But we've got, as you can see, if you look in the back, he has a hide that he's decided he wanted to make into a burrow. He dug out all underneath and he makes it in a little burrow. He sleeps in there every night. He's got a water bowl here, which I actually have to change. Let me do that. Let me grab this real quick. Excuse me, Azule. So I'll just put that right there. He's got a simple little terracotta water bowl. We've got the next cage, which is the newest member, which is the one I was going to tell you a story about. These are for these 2 cages up here. I'll go over what's in these in a minute. But in here, I gotta take the locks off so I can get to him. Gotta see if he's wanting to come out too, because it's a little too soon to. I feel like it might be a little too soon to show him off. We've got. Oh, I should say the story first. For those of you who don't know, something horrible happened. My ball python, Conga, had escaped her cage, and my mother's beagles had found her before we could and broke her spine. She died quickly. It was a horrible thing. So this all happened about 2 weeks ago, a week ago, 2 or 3 weeks. I can't remember the exact date. I'd have to look it up to see when I did my post on the reptile subreddit. Cause yeah. So enough about the tragedy. So family members heard about it. They saw I was kind of depressed about it, because I did care a lot about that snake. I didn't have her for a long time. It was only about maybe 6 months, but I still did care a lot about her, just like I do all my other animals. So one day I come home from my job, and I walk in my room, and I see this huge cage. Now, I didn't have all the stuff in it. It only had the water bowl and the little rock formation in the back. And I was like, what the hell is this? So I went and asked my mom. She said she wasn't sure. She knew my family members stopped by for a visit. They asked if they could check out the reptiles. So incidentally, they must have brought this in here without her knowing it somehow and set it up. And I'm like, okay, but why would they give me such a big cage for nothing? Like, I don't really have anything I would put this in. Azule has his own big cage already. So let's see if I can get him. There he is. Isn't that pretty? So apparently they went through the trouble of buying me a killer bee ball python, a male. So this little guy, I decided to name him Zulu. because I'm from New Orleans and Zulu is just, yeah. So I named them Zulu. Sorry, let me just set these rocks back where they're supposed to go. I just can't get this rock formation just like I like it. I always feel like it's too wobbly. But yeah, so Zulu, apparently they bought him from a local reptile store that was giving him off on a sale. He should be a male. I didn't actually check him yet myself because I just got him they brought him to me about 2 or 3 days ago. So in about 2 or 3 days, he has ate his first meal, which is a really good sign. But anyway, so Zulu is now a new member of the family. I am greatly thankful to my family members who bought him, because that's a very sincere gift to get. It's not just, oh, we bought this because we thought you would like it. No, they actually went through the trouble because they knew I was depressed about poor Conga. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not upset anymore about Conga. I'm still terribly upset. I'm sorry, folks. I'm just trying to make sure these locks are on here, which is why we now have these four. We have 4 different securing locks to make 100% sure the snake can't get out. Just to be 100%, 1000% safe. No more clay brick sitting on top of the cage. We have actual locking mechanisms. Whew. I'm sorry about that, folks. I'm sweating. My AC's off, and it's kind of hot in here. It's a powerful 82 degrees according to their thermometers. So I might actually have to turn my AC on in a minute because it's getting a little too stuffy in here. But anyway, so the next cages we have are these 2 right here. We'll get into this cage in the last minute because this is the cage I've probably worked the hardest on. And you can actually see someone up there. She's giving me the stank eye because of something that happened earlier, which I'll go over too. It's actually really exciting. So I guess the first cage we should go over is the middle one, since we have the lid off of it. So I'll grab the food dish for that because I actually have to feed them too. So in this cage is we got mealworms for them. So if that doesn't help figure out what it is, put a few in there. That should be enough for them for a day or 2. I also have crickets up here, but I'm not going to put those in just yet. I'll put those in later tonight whenever they're going to be more active. So if I lift this up, you can actually see one of them. This is acrylic like the paint, and this is a female adult leopard gecko. She's just a normal leopard gecko. You can actually kind of tell on the tail if you look. Yeah, she's kind of not happy that I moved her from her hide. She just shed it too, so she's like, don't touch me. Alright, I'm putting it back. You can actually kind of see, though, if you look carefully at her tail, get back in there. The very tip of her tail looks like it probably fell off at some point. I don't know if the whole tail falls off or they can cut off a certain point, but it looks like it just because of the fact that there's no wrinkles, I guess you would say, on it, and it looks kind of like a little fat turnip. It looks kind of smooth. So I got her, and there's one more actually hiding in the back. Now these should both be female. There he is. We've got Watercolor. I'm sorry, by the way, about the mess, folks. Hey, get out of there. I just noticed there's a bit of a mess back there. They've been hiding it underneath this rock, apparently. Well, that doesn't look too appetizing. That doesn't look too fun. It's okay. It's okay. He's a little jumpier than Acrylic. Come here. It's okay. I just want to take you out to show the people. Yeah, if you're too jumpy, I'm not gonna take you out. I won't try to stress you out too much. I just want to get people a good look at you. So I'm pretty sure he's a patternless. I don't know the exact morph for him. Yeah, he's going in there with I'm saying he. They're both They're both female. I'm 80% sure they're both female. If not, then Acrylic is the female and Watercolor is the female. Acrylic's the male because she is a fatter one. But yeah, so I got these 2 from Petco. They were in a cage with a bunch of younger ones. I thought it was kind of odd that they were just sitting there by themselves. So I asked the people how much they were. They were on sale. Both of them would be only about $40. So I decided I'd get them. And I've gotten them since about early September. about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So they're doing pretty good. They eat mealworms. Sometimes I give them some dubia roaches, which I seem to be out of. Oh, no, I got 2 left right there. I give them dubia roaches as a treat, and I just bought some crickets today for them to see if they'd eat the crickets. So I got some treats for them for that. They usually have a dish full of super worms to eat. And this lamp right here, actually, folks, is for nothing but looks, because if you turn it off, you can see it's really dark over here. So that's just for looks. They have an actual nighttime lamp on the side, and they have under the tank heaters. Whew, it's hot in here. I am sorry about that, folks. I didn't realize it would heat up so quickly without my AC on. But in here, take this lid off. This is another new arrival who's actually been with us a little bit longer. By the way, I know you should never really buy pets from Petco, but these two look very healthy. So, and usually the Petco and PetSmarts around me are very caring about their animals. They try to make sure their animals have everything they can have. So in here, if I probably lift this up, yep, you can see him right there. We have another leopard gecko. He's just a little juvenile. He's a male. This is Charcoal. Now, I bought him because the yellow banding, I didn't know that apparently that's a normal feature for a leopard gecko. I thought that was a specific type of morph. And he wasn't expensive. He was only $40. He was only about $40, which I thought was kind of interesting. So I decided I was gonna get him, gonna put him in here, see how he reacted. And so far he's handling pretty good. I've had him about a month now. Let me think. The month, it would make it on the 7th, it would make it a month. So he's hanging out here. He's got an under the tank heater just like these two do. He's got some hides. I actually just put this wood in here just so he has something to hide under whenever he's walking around at night, because I know if I come up to the cage, he'll see me, he'll dart straight to his cave. We've got his little food dish right here, which normally, where are they? Can I empty it? Oh boy, that's not good. I didn't realize that. I might not have any. Over here, maybe? No? Where the hell did they go? I have 2 different size dubia roaches, folks. I have adult size and baby size, but I don't see the baby size container anywhere. I must have threw it away because I ran out. Well, that's not good. Let me see. I might have a solution to this problem, because he is eating super worms. He's either eating them or they're disappearing, and I don't know where they're disappearing to. I just grabbed the smallest super worms out of the dish. So 1 second, you're gonna hear a little noise because I'm opening up the tripod. Just set it right here. You can kind of see the water dish. So I usually go through this. I usually pick out like 5 or 6, like the tiniest super worms I have in this thing, because normally these super worms come in a variety of sizes, between big to tiny to just mealworm size almost sometimes. There might not be any little ones in this one. Oh no, that's not good. I saw like 2. I try to get the thinnest ones also. And every other meal, I should talk about that in a sec. I'll talk about that in a second. Let me just get 1 or 2 more of these in there for them. 1 more, come on. I have to take a trip to my local pet store soon and buy dubia roaches anyway, so that's pretty good. So, normally, folks, what I do when it comes to these is I will take this, which is National Geographic brand Reptile multivitamin. Open it up. I'll just sprinkle a tiny, tiny bit on them. Give it a quick swirl so they can kind of mix into it. Because, as you know, this is usually multivitamins are usually important for insectivores like bearded dragon. Well, no, bearded dragons are omnivores. Insectivores such as leopard geckos, chameleons, usually very helpful for them, because that way they're able to get the other vitamins they need in their system besides just calcium and protein. So usually that'll last him probably about a night. Some of those are kind of big, so I don't expect him to eat them all. That's kind of just a temporary staple till I could take a trip to my local pet store to get some more dubia roaches. 1 moment, folks. I'll be right back. Hey guys, what's up? I'm back. I'm sorry about that. It's the joys of working a part-time job. I have a normal job, and then I also have a part-time job, which I work out of the home at a little concession stand that's up front. But anyway, we just got through with charcoal, the little leopard gecko. I'm sorry about that. And the next person we got, or the next pair I should say we got, is my first ever breeding pair of animals. I guess besides dogs, but because my family used to breed dogs when we were younger, is Crested Geckos. Now, these little guys, you can actually see the female right here. This is Miss Papaya. She's not a happy camper because I just took her eggs, which she just had today, which is a lovely little story. I can actually take them out right here. She's had 2 clutches of eggs since I've had her. I think the first clutch is a dud batch, because I think it was her first ever batch. And I could try taking them out carefully. I'm sorry I have to hold the camera at such an awkward angle. Come on. Alright, so you see I have these here. Now this is the older batch. They were laid on September 3rd, and today's batch was laid on October 4th. You can actually see right here. I'm going to just move that off of there. This new batch is right here. I think these are good eggs by the look of them. They look like they might still be they might not be perfect. I'm going to keep them and see how they react, just like these old eggs. If the old eggs don't change by November, I'm going to decide they're a dud egg, and I'm going to either put them in a separate container, or I'm going to find something to do with them until I can make sure. But yeah, so we have Miss Papaya right here, who is a dream sickle. And I think she's giving me the stank eye, because the second I took them out of their cage, and I took the eggs out, and then the second I put them back, she climbed into where the eggs were hidden, which was inside this large log. Apparently she likes hiding them in the moss at the bottom of the log. It's a nice little safe place to put them. She doesn't want to use the sleigh box. I don't understand why she doesn't want to. They'll hide in it, but she doesn't want to use it for some reason. I don't understand why. So we have a moss mat on one half, which is just an Exoterra moss mat. And then on the other half we have some simple Reptile brand Reptile. It's just a mix of sand, dirt, some moss. And I have a log here for hiding. I have the big peat cork bark log here to hide in. They have plants and vines all over the cage to climb in. And if you can see in the back, they have a fancy little styrofoam backdrop that came with the cage. So you could probably see him right here. This is the male. This is Mango. He is a Phantom Red Dalmatian crested. He's pretty. He's a very pretty one, but he is not a fan of me for some reason. He doesn't try to bite me, but he will not let me touch him. Like, if I have to take them out for their weekly weigh-in or their weekly checkup, he will do everything in his power to run away, which is actually why we have this. You can see it in the back. I'm trying to point to it because I'm stupid. Trying to point through the cage on the other side. We have this little reptile hammock thing, which he likes to run behind and hide because he knows I can't really reach him. And then we also have a food and water dish right here up top, while also having one on the ground, so that gives them variety and options. Normally they're eating Refishi brand Crested Gecko formula. During the last week of pregnancy for Papaya, I will normally mix in just a tiny bit of the banana and apricot formula. Wait, is it banana? No, banana and papaya formula, to give her a little bit more of a fat content, to help her, to give her a little boost and make her more tempted to eat it. But yeah, so about a week beforehand, she will shed her. She'll go through a egg-laying shed, which then it will give me a sign. Okay, it's time to start paying attention. Keep an eye out. So other than that, there's not really much else to talk about when it comes to my reptiles. We've got this entire row of geckos. They have a night light, which is right here, which I have to put on their cage. I normally have it off if I have a lid off. So let me just put this back on here. This is really hard to do with one hand, folks. I need to buy like a harness of some kind. So, take this. Come on. So normally we have this little night light here. The nightlight is just so I can keep their cages warm, because at night usually it does get a little chilly here. Usually drops to the low 70s, and I know they have to stay at a certain range of high 70s to low 80s usually. So I try to keep them cool. Actually, you can see it's actually kind of hot in the Crested Gecko's cage right now because I have the AC off. That's why they're right next to the AC. But there's not really much else to talk about with the animals. You can see up here I have a few different things. I could jump on this chair I've been using as a stool to show you guys. We've got the crickets. We got my live food over here. The supplements are over here. I have calcium powder and multivitamin powder. I have some extra moss mats, these are really useful. The only problem is they're not the right size. I have a bin that I've been using to hold the Reptile soil in, but I used the last of it when I cleaned the cages recently. I have 2 different misters. I mist the Crested Gecko cage at least once a day to make sure they get water on the glass to lick up if they want it. I also occasionally spray the blue tongue skink cage when I feel like Azule is about to shed, because he always has trouble shedding. There's not really much else to say about hides or anything other than, excuse me, I just need to get down real sec. I got these. I have an extra container for when I run out of space, and this one for the eggs. You can actually see this was the old lid for it before she had her second clutch. Put this like this so it's more organized. Back here is just a little bit of junk, nothing serious. It's just it's just one of my dog's collars and a wood burning tool that I use to make the. I'm sorry, folks. We're going like super long for a video, but make the egg-laying box, which I will provide an annotation link to the video if you guys want to learn how to make an egg-laying box. Not by me, but by JB Cresty. She's an amazing YouTuber when it comes to Crested Gecko information. Really helpful, really really useful. I actually have to refill Azule's water dish, and I don't normally use this specific brand. I usually use bottled water, just because I don't like using tap water. Now I know it's not much of a difference, but I don't trust the piping in our house because we have a very old house. The pipes are kind of old, so I'd rather just be safe and use bottled water for them. I usually keep it either at room temperature or I keep it refrigerated in our fridge. And that's about it when it comes to reptile cages. We do have one other cage over here which isn't currently in use. During the winter months, I will be separating my Crested Geckos. The male and female will be separated so that Papaya can get some calcium and fat deposits back in her body so she can get a little bit heftier, so she could be ready for the next time I want to put them together for breeding season. Now, obviously, his Mango's cage isn't finished. I still have to add a few more things, some better hides, some more plant cover. And I also am not going to be leaving it right there. I'm going to be putting it either up here, or I'm going to be moving it over here to where, on this top row where I usually keep my games and my containers and stuff. So, yeah, there's not really much else to say about my animals other than I hope you all loved it. If you have any ideas for stuff that I could do or stuff that you think needs improvement in my cages, I would love to hear in the comments section. I always love chatting about reptiles. And if you have any questions about any of the reptiles you've seen today, like you would want to own a blue-tongued skink or you would want to own a ball python or Crested Geckos, go ahead, ask me in the comment section. Ask me in the comments section. I would love to hear it. Now, other than that, folks, I hope you all do have an amazing day. This is Chris from Blue Tongue Bayou Exotics, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys. Have a beautiful night, or day, or whatever time it is. Just have a good time.